folks. Thanks for joining me today, and welcome to our second day of the 12 Days of Christmas. Today, we're going to be painting a cute little snowman. So, on the art stone that I've already created using the molds from the Happy Dotting Company, there is a link in the description below. I drew on a circle with my compass. I thought it was too small, so I drew a second one. And then I put on a base coat of Snow White. So while that's still wet, I'm going to sponge on some orange color, but it's called Tiger Lily, but it's a gloss paint. So what I'm doing is basically the opposite of what I've been doing in the majority of my other tutorials. When I'm doing the blending for this, I'm not doing it so that is the lightest in the center and then moving out to the edge of the circle is your dark color. Flip that around, I'm doing it the opposite way. So the darkest color is going to be in the middle of the circle, and it's going to have a gradation out to the edge of the circle as the light color. So it's just opposite of what we've been doing. So it should be fairly easy. Just make sure that the dark color goes in the middle and then you lighten it up as it goes out to the edge of the circle. So I do this all the way around, and you'll notice too that the rock was already primed and that I'd already painted. You could see some of the black around on the edges. So I'd already painted the back and some of the sides with the black paint. So now what I'm doing is I'm just finishing that off to bring that black paint up to the edge of the circle that we drew. And it just sort of cleans it all up. So now we've got to put the body of our cute little snowman onto this rock. So you'll notice that I am painting it over top of the darkest part of the background that we put on. And the reason for that is because I really wanted it to look like it was sort of glowing from behind him. So that's why we did the dark in the center and moved out to the lightness to the edge. Now this guy, he's a bit of a skinny snowman right now. I will fatten him up. I just wanted to get an idea as to location of where I wanted him on the rock and to really get my shapes so then I could just expand on them. And that's what I do. Now, I also found that with this particular paint that I used, the Tiger Lily, that was the gloss paint on the back of it, it really shone through. So I had to do like 3 or 4 coats of this white on top just to stop it from shining through. So that's an experiment for me that I've discovered that maybe gloss paint wasn't a good option as the back, or maybe I should have used a gloss white. I don't know, but live and learn. You guys learn from my mistakes, and that's just what I discovered. But really, it was easy to cover up just using a few extra coats of white on the snowman. Now I'm putting on his little twiggy hands and his arms, and I go with a dark brown color. Then I go in with a lighter brown color to give it the highlights. So the dark brown is already on there and is your low lights, so your shadows. And then we put on the lighter color to give it the lights, or like the highlights of it. Because where you have shadows, you got to have light, and it just spells each other off. And then the most important part of any snowman is the nose. And yes, he has a carrot nose. And I'm using the same orange that I used on the backdrop, but it's in its pure form. And then, holy cow, by magic, I've got a hat drawn. So the snowman, I forgot to record when I drew the hat, but it's just a basic hat with a bit of a droopy side on it. And I used my General's charcoal pencil to draw this because for a few different reasons. One, it erases really easy after you're done with it. So if your paint doesn't cover it up and you still have pieces that are left that you can see, very easy to rub that off with a damp cloth or eraser or whatever your choice is. The second thing is I have found in the past when I use regular lead pencil, sometimes, depending on your paint consistency, the lead from the pencil can shine through and or even bleed through. And so using the General's charcoal pencil, that you've eliminated that issue. So that's another reason why I like it. And I've just recently discovered a couple of months ago that it doesn't just come in white, it also comes in gray. So you can use the gray on the lighter colored backgrounds and you can use the white on the darker colored backgrounds. So it's a win-win. I have been busy putting on some shading here on the snowman, just using a little bit of the white and mixed in a tiny bit of the blue, just to give myself that bit of an off-white color. And I'm putting in wherever there would be a shadow. So under his hat, under his scarf, up against his body, where the rolls are, the snowballs that are put together to make his body, around his chin. Everywhere that I think that there might be a shadow. And I just put it on there. Now you can make it more defined or less defined. It's totally up to you. And you don't even have to use the colors that I'm using. I'm using the blue for the hat. That's just the basic part of the hat. I will be putting on some stripes and putting on a pom-pom at the end of it. But you can choose whatever colors you want. This is just what I chose. I thought it was cute. And yeah, this is just my take. So I went ahead and I built up his face, and he's got these cute little beady eyes with some happy eyebrows. And I outlined his nose and gave him a really big, smiley, happy face. And then I rosed up his cheeks with a dry brush technique, still using that tiger lily color. And I dipped it in and then patted it off the majority of the paint onto a paper towel. So then when I was dabbing it, it's just very, very lightly putting color on there. So that's how you do the dry brush. So now I'm putting on the stripes of where I want the stripes to be on this guy's hat. So I do the brim of the hat and I do that big long tail on the hat as well as I do his scarf. The inside, though, the main part of his hat, I leave as the solid color. Now you may see that it looks like I went out of the lines. I did that on purpose because I wanted the hat to have a little bit more of a floppy look rather than just this thing that's a triangle hanging off the hat. So that's why I did that, and that will get covered up once I go in with the colors. There you just saw that I made a mistake, so the handy dandy Q-tip comes out, dipped it in water and just erased what I had done that I didn't like, and back to, square one, I guess, and I just continue going on. So I'm just adding these stripes on just with black paint and my fine lining brush. I'm not being any particular order or width or whatever. I'm just whatever my heart desires is what I'm doing here. So I give him a little bit of an outline too of all of his snowman rolls there, and outlines just some parts of his twiggy hands because I didn't want to get too much. I wanted this guy to stay cartoony. So that's why I'm doing it this way. Now, I do have to apologize for my voice if you've noticed that my voice is a little bit weird. I'm just coming off of a cold, so that's why. Hopefully it'll get better in the next few videos so that you can maybe understand me a little better or I'm not so nasally. But doesn't stop me from painting. I love painting so much and I do it every day that even having a cold won't stop me. So I'm just happy that I'm able to share some of the paintings that I do with you guys, or I do for you guys so that you can watch and see how things are done, maybe something new you've never thought of. I love sharing it with everyone. And I'm so happy that you're with me to watch these videos and learn along with me and take some of these techniques and apply them to your own painting. If you are ever interested in sharing what you've painted, head on over to my Facebook page, and I totally encourage you to post there any of your designs that you've created with any kind of the techniques that you've learned from my channel, or maybe there's something that maybe you replicated something that I showed but used different colors. Maybe it's identical. I don't know, but I would love to see them. And it's the hugest compliment an artist can get. At least in my opinion, it is. Anyway, so back to the painting. You may have noticed I added a second piece to the scarf. On the bottom, I'm just letting that dry so that I can use the black and paint on the stripes for that. And I'm going in with a green. I think it's Kelly green that I'm using. All of the colors will be listed in the description below, so make sure that you check that out if you want to use the same colors as I do. But I totally encourage to use what you have in your stash. It's what I've done. And if you don't have the color that you want, make it. It's really simple. Just add a little bit of white or a little bit of black to give you a darker version or a lighter version. Obviously not in that order. Anyways, so now I'm just adding a little bit of shine to the top of that hat and blending it in. And now I'm just doing the details. So every scarf's got wrinkles in it, and I like to play around with some of that. And really, there's no right or wrong with this. Like, you can put the wrinkles wherever you want to. You don't even have to put wrinkles if you don't want to. And that's what I did. So let me know if you like this video. Give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe because there's plenty more coming. And ring that bell so that you get a notification whenever I do post something new. Just as I did with the wrinkles in the scarf, I'm adding a couple of wrinkles into the hat as well. Just using some black paint, giving it a little bit more volume, just so that it looks a little bit more, not just a triangle that's just flopped over. So that's what I do, and I fix up any of the other areas that I may have painted over. And now the second part of the scarf is dry, so I can do my paint over with my fine lining brush and some black, and then add in the colored stripes. So that's what I'm doing here. You don't have to do too many because of the number of stripes that are there. Give him a little chin, and then a little pom-pom for his hat. And I got to let that one dry because I'm going to add some swishes, I guess, to make it look like it's hairy. So while I do that, I add in the snow. So it's just a little bit of the blue mixed in with the white, and then I gradually make it so that it is more white. But I wanted the dark part of the blue to be on the top and to add in the shadows. So I've obviously painted over some of it with some of the outlining, so I had to go back in and fix that, add a few more wrinkles, and here are the little sprigs that I do. So very lightly, I just let my brush with black paint sort of swirl out just to give it a fuzzy look, and I do that all the way around. I fix up the black part in the bottom as well, and I got to outline the snow, but that's pretty much it. I let them dry completely, and then I give him a coat of resin. So I'm interested what you think his name should be. Leave me a comment in this comment section below. And there you have it, folks. Life is what you make it, so get creative.